Alright then, let's give our best wishes to Kidahara Haruki, who finally manned up to propose. And also, Ogiso Setsuna, who has, in a moment of stupidity, fallen for the biggest scam in the world. Wait a sec. Congratulations on your engagement. Cheers!
Cheers!
We all raised our glasses to Takiya's unusually cheerful speech. Not on the weekend, but on the evening of a Wednesday. As soon as I was about to leave work, I got a phone call from Takiya, who sounded extremely serious. He told me there was something he absolutely had to consult with me about, and that it had to be today. So I headed to the bar as he told me to, without a clue. Of course, before that, I sent the number 1 to the answering machine back home.
Haruki, I'm so glad. I'm so happy for you. I never thought this day would actually come.
Since when did alcohol affect you so much?
She's not drunk at all. After all, Mrs. Sawa-san's eyes were red even before the toast. The Tomo? Come on, you didn't have to tell them. Still, I suppose I don't care what anyone says about me today.
Yo, I came in expecting to see Takiya sitting alone with a sour look on his face, but found no such thing. Instead, I heard the chatter of a woman with a rather masculine voice, and when I turned to it, I saw Takiya and his old friend sitting at a table. It seems they've planned a surprise party.
Haruki-kun, I'm sorry.
Even though she's snuggling up to me in her seat as usual, there's a noticeable hesitation in her voice and expression.
Just earlier, Io suddenly called me and told me to come. She told me she needed to consult with me about something immediately. So I thought it'd be only her and me.
So we fell for the exact same trick.
Apparently, Takahiro went and said something strange to Takiya-kun, and that's why this is happening now.
It's not your fault, Setsuno. Actually, no one did anything bad, right?
That's true, I guess.
Everyone's gathered here to give us their best wishes. No one should have to apologize for that.
Haruki-kun?
This all started in the Ogiso household last week. The situation with the ring spread from Takahiro to Takiya, and after that, it kept spreading faster than the speed of light. The facts became truth. Promise became a binding contract, and everything just continued to develop even more quickly than I expected.
What are you two whispering to each other? Does the bridegroom have any words for the rest of us?
Don't ever do this kind of thing on a weekday. If you're going to invite us, why wouldn't you do it on the weekend? Think about the inconvenience this will cause.
Well, you know, you two are always really busy on the weekends. Right. I couldn't contact either of you from Friday night to Saturday night. I wonder what happened. That's
We'll be gathering again next weekend, right? It's Setsuna's birthday party after all.
That day should be spent only with family members this year, because this year will be a special one.
I keep telling you to not get ahead of yourselves. It's not even set in stone yet.
right. He's right. We haven't even... Not yet.
Setsuna's father was really upset when the topic was brought up. He doesn't seem to be willing to listen to us. So convincing him will take a bit more time. Right, Setsuna?
Haruki-kun?
At the sight of my bitter smile as I asked her, Setsuna's eyes opened wide, because it was the first time I had made a decisive statement on the matter. Before, I had always been really vague about the prospect.
Hey, what did you tell her when you proposed? Reenact it for us now. How much did the ring cost? How many months' salary did it take?
I'm just making sure, but you didn't have a reason to rush this, did you?
I'll answer your questions in order. I'll pass on the first question. I'll pass on the second one too. Takia, let's settle this outside.
As Kitahara has vetoed my question, I'll pass it off to Sachan. Now answer me. What did he tell you when he proposed? How many months' salary did it cost?
How many months has it been?
Wait! Don't call me Sachan.
Hiding behind me out of embarrassment, Setsuna presses her head against my back and casually wipes off her tears. Even so, they're ignoring her reaction despite the fact it's happening right before their very eyes. Completely focused on teasing Setsuna. With this, everything will be okay. Right, Kazusa? I don't have to think about it. I don't have to worry about it. Right now, all I have to do is tell the truth to Setsuna, right? And it's all right for me to lie to you after this, right? To lie about how I'm undoubtedly happy, how I'm the slightest bit worried, how I haven't betrayed anyone. You're all right with such wonderful lies, right? Lies that will make everyone happy. And no one will get hurt if I do all this, right? Other than one single person, that is.
Setsuna-chan. Setsuna-chan. Looks like she's fast asleep.
It's fine, let her sleep, all snuggling up to me like always. Or rather, she finally decided to lean against me and started dozing off.
She must have been really happy. I haven't seen Setsuna in such high spirits in a long time.
She's just tired from work. She's been pushing herself hard recently.
Speaking of work, she went on her first business trip last month, right? I feel that things started to get awkward between you two after that.
The sleeping face of Setsuna resting on my shoulder is adorable enough to make anyone smile, even if they didn't want to. Even though it's supposed to be a celebration, we find ourselves lowering our voices.
But did that really happen because of her job? Looking back at it, there is so many things I find suspicious. I think we have already established that the proposal happened because of something to do with that awkwardness. But it started happening right around the time of her business trip. So I started wondering if the job didn't go as planned. So what you're saying is we can with certainty say that this dramatic reason happened during this business trip. But it was in Osaka, wasn't it? Setsuna wasn't in Tokyo. Osaka, huh? A one-way trip there takes 3 hours, right?
Don't look at me. This isn't the first time these girls' intuitions has given me pause. But right now, it's almost terrifying.
Don't you think this is something that calls for further questioning? You're right. Let's go somewhere quiet and extract as much information as we can get.
But look at the state Setsuna's in. How about calling it a day?
He's even trying to get away. You understand that you're only making us even more suspicious, right? You guys.
Give it up. That was your mistake just now. You might as well just man up and tell us everything.
Not you too, Takia. It would seem that today's party isn't something that I'm going to be relieved of so easily.
So, where should we go? I suppose we could go somewhere where we can drink until morning, huh?
If this goes on any longer, then the number I sent her will have to change from a 1, I'll be late, to a 2, I can't come home today.
But I'm kind of short on money this month. I'd like to keep the cost as low as possible.
Oh, then you should take Setsuna and go home.
So, how about we go buy some alcohol and head over to Kitahara-san's apartment? It's close to the university anyway, and I can drink until morning and head straight over.
Yeah? Oh, I never considered that.
Great idea. Let's have an all-nighter. I haven't had one of those since university.
No, wait a sec. The conversation flowing in this direction was completely natural and had no ulterior motive. If anything, it was the kind of idea I've come to expect from these impudent friends. But that natural flow of conversation was fatal for me. Because with the way I am now, I'm not really normal at all.
All right, let's get moving. I don't want to bother with walking, so let's call a taxi.
Spoken like a true adult, trading money for time?
If possible, I'd like to consider my student discount with splitting the bill. But my apartment is super messy right now. It's almost midnight. I can't just out of nowhere text her at 4, leave the apartment tonight.
Oh, I'll take care of the cleaning up. If you'll pay for my taxi fare and my drinks, then I'm at your service. He's obviously lying. There's just no way Haruki's apartment is messy.
If he has the time to sleep, he has the time to clean up. That's the type of guy he is.
And even if I manage to get in contact with her, if we were to run into her exiting my apartment...
Okay, let's go, Kitahara-san. Or is there something else eating at you?
Takia and Io, who were in the same grade as her back then, should be able to see through her disguise.
Cut it out, everyone! You're getting carried away!
The fatal situation that I had brought upon myself in my carelessness was resolved with a single, calm sentence.
This isn't a weekend. Haruki has to go to work tomorrow. And that goes for you guys too.
Setsuna? Setsuna woke up from her nap, but she still looked sleepy.
This isn't like back in university. Let's call it a day.
She was undoubtedly right, so no one could argue back.
Everyone, thank you so much for today. See you next time, okay?
She saved me.
Why did you stop us? Stop what? We finally had our chance to find out who lives in the apartment next to Kitahara-san. I already checked last week. There was no one there! They planned that in advance. They knew you were coming over on the weekend, Setsuna. And for this case alone, we can't rely on your judgment. Why not? Because you're going easy on him. No matter how suspicious he sounds, you still believe him. You cover your ears because you don't want to know the truth. I'm not doing that. I'm starting to believe that even if you saw Toma Kazusa coming right out from the apartment next to his, you'd just say, "Wow, it's been such a long time," and call it a day. What would be wrong with that? Of course I'd be happy to see Kazusa again. Of course there's something wrong with that. You two are engaged now, aren't you? Don't you think it's something you absolutely shouldn't be doing? Domo, why are you saying such unpleasant things? You don't know anything about the three of us. I don't hate Toma Kazusa. I don't hate Kirihara-senpai either. I can proudly say that I'm the #1 fan of the three of you. Domo, it's just that if I had to pick who I like the best out of you three, I'd go with the singer. Thank you. You know, I'm not against you and Kirihara-senpai being together. I just want you to be happy, Setsuna. I'm sorry, Domo, but as long as I'm with Haruki-kun, everything will be fine. I'm sure. It's been a while since you last stopped saying "I'm absolutely sure" regarding him, though. Welcome back.
I'm back. By the time I made it to Kazusa's apartment, it was already past 3 a.m.
I'm back, huh?
You said welcome back after all.
Yeah, welcome back. Welcome back, Haruki.
Even though I've come back so late and had communicated with her using nothing but numbers, even though I reek of alcohol, Kazusa still greets me with a hug. And then I found undressing too much of a pain, so I just collapsed on the bed, barely still conscious. Kazusa embraced me with her whole body. She pulls my head against her chest, gently strokes my hair, cheeks, and lips with her fingers. What are you doing?
I'll imprint your scent in my memories.
She takes a deep breath and smells me as if it excites her. I don't get it.
That's fine. You don't have to care. You can just go to sleep and ignore me.
Sorry for being late. Kazusa's desire for me brings me more pain than usual. I'm sorry for coming home drunk, for not being with you. Kazusa was waiting for me to return all this time. We don't have more than a few days together, so she anxiously kept waiting for me, not wanting to let a single second get away.
I was the one who told you to continue living your life as always. You're not doing anything wrong.
But she still tries to put up a strong front, as always. However, since she was born as a very excessive person, I can directly feel how lonely she's feeling through her entire body. I was out drinking with Takia. He just wouldn't let me go. He took me to 3 different places.
The president? That takes me back.
You're the only one who ever called him that, even after Setsuna prevented the party from moving to my apartment. I still continued to celebrate and drink with Takia. Actually, I'd call it a series of personal proclamations by Takia, rather than a celebration. Most of the conversation was about his childhood friend. It would seem that the engagement between Setsuna and me gave those two, who had spent more time with each other than with either of us, a lot of courage about facing one another. He continued pouring in drink after drink, saying, "I'll show you I'm being serious this time." He kept drinking in a fashion almost typical of a middle-aged Japanese salaryman. And once he had enough, he collapsed, which took yet another hour away from Kazusa.
I see. So the two of them are still dragging things out, huh? Mizusawa and the president, too.
Yeah, and the president, too, huh?
I hope it goes well between them.
Yeah, for a long time, it looked like Kazusa felt sympathy for him.
Not that I have any right to say that at all.
But before long, she found herself sympathizing with Setsuna too, and her feelings became complicated. For him, the problem is actually getting there. The path ahead is already decided, yet he keeps taking detours over and over again. So I decided to guide the conversation to one about my best friend, to ease her mind.
That sounds rough.
Or at least that's what I tried to do. In the end, every single word choice we made ends up backfiring at us. It seems we can't do anything right. But by the way, didn't he try to hit on you once back in high school? Back then, he went from one girl to the next.
He did? I don't remember that at all.
That's my best friend you're talking about.
But, I don't remember anything from high school, other than the last 6 months.
You don't?
I decided to forget about all the unpleasant things in my life, so I may have forgotten about it instinctively.
You're talking about my best friend, As far as unpleasant experiences go, I'm sure that the last 6 months would have etched far more unpleasant memories in her than any other time. After that, time slowly and uneventfully passed between us as we continued to talk about my best friend. Kazusa had a rather poor impression of. Just like Kazusa wanted, I lied to her by not saying anything. I told her that the reason Takia invited me to drink was so he could talk to me about his troubles. There was no engagement party to speak of. It was only Takia and me, drinking from beginning to end, while the women who were actually present there, including Setsuna, weren't among us. I don't know how much of my lies she saw through. I just didn't want to hurt her with the truth, believing these lies might have eased her mind.
Haruki? Haruki? Hey, Haruki? Wake up. Wake up already. Wake up. Don't leave me alone.
Kazusa? Sorry, did I fall asleep? Whether my eyes are open or not, all I can see is darkness. I can see only the clock ticking past 4 o'clock. Thinking back to my last memory, I must have been out for 30 minutes.
No, that's not it.
What do you mean, that's not it?
It's nothing to apologize for. It's really nothing you should be apologizing for at all.
Kazusa? I touch the warm tears flowing down my cheeks. These tears are not from my eyes. They fall on me from above.
It's all my fault. Why would I even wake you up? I knew you have to go to work tomorrow.
Kazusa's voice, which was calm just 30 minutes ago, is now overwhelmed with emotion.
But, I tried to fall asleep too, but I couldn't. So then, I started thinking about a lot of stupid things.
Yeah? Yet another fresh tear falls on my face. I reach out both my hands in front of me so that Kazusa can see them clearly.
Sorry,
It's no problem.
Haruki.
And in response, she timidly grabs my hands, entwines her fingers with mine, and squeezes them tightly. I'm still sleepy and drunk, but I knew what I needed to do. It's okay. It's okay. I'm awake now.
You are?
I slowly caress the back of Kazusa's hand with my thumb. Yes, I'm fully awake, so you can go to sleep if you feel sleepy, or you can stay awake if you can't fall asleep.
Okay.
Even though the meaning behind it and the way I did it was completely different, this was supposed to be my own version of pain, pain, go away. After all, right now, Kazusa's acting like a child who's crying in her mother's chest because she just woke up from a frightening nightmare at night, though I'm actually the one being hugged right now. Come on, take a deep breath. There you go. Good girl. I don't know if the way we're touching right now has any effect on her. Even so, Kazusa's weeping slowly lessens, and her grip on my hand also gradually becomes more gentle.
I'm hopeless. I'm completely hopeless.
Don't say that. This happens to everyone.
But Setsuna wouldn't be this selfish, right? Setsuna wouldn't be able to hold it in. Setsuna would be able to prioritize your needs.
And I can see the tender expression on her face, along with the weakness behind it.
Yet all I care about is my own feelings for you.
Despite having just calmed herself down, or perhaps due to having calmed herself down, she's now looking back on her own actions with composure.
I can't contain my selfishness. I always cause you to suffer. That's why things ended up this way.
She reflects on the sins she's committed, as well as the world she's betrayed.
I'm an awful woman. I'm human garbage. I can never be a good woman, like Setsuna.
As someone who bears the same pain as her, I understand her thought process perfectly.
I'm sorry, Haruki, for not being the woman you wanted.
You don't have to be Setsuna.
Huh?
That's why I can't let it reach its conclusion. All you have to do is be the Toma Kazusa who is by my side, always looking at me, always loving me. Be the girl that I adore and love. The cool and adorable, timid girl who always pretends to be tough. That's all I need.
Haruki.
That's my pride and honor as the #1 fan in the Toma Kazusa fan club.
Haruki.
We can only lick each other's wounds.
I'm sorry. Thank you. I'm so...
Kazusa's embrace around me grows stronger. I'm heavy, aren't I?
Yeah. And warm.
She supports my back with her chest, holds her arms around my head, and strokes my cheeks over and over again. Do I still reek of alcohol?
It feels good.
While losing herself in holding me, she takes a deep breath and lets out a warm sigh at the nape of my neck. Answer my question.
I love you so much, Haruki.
She hits me with her warm emotions.
Don't you believe me?
Kazusa,
Do you still not understand just how much I love you?
I know that I have to believe you. After all, I can't think of any other reason you would obsess over me so much.
You should have realized it sooner. Baka.
Looking at Kazusa's feelings for me through the process of elimination, I can't think of any other reason than the fact she truly loves me. Because I haven't made Kazusa detest me enough for her to seek revenge against me. I'm not strong enough to be someone that the pianist Toma Kazusa needs in her life. I didn't leave such a powerful imprint on her body to awaken the woman known as Toma Kazusa. But it's because I have to believe you that I don't get it. Why would you even bother with someone like me?
Don't sell yourself short. Don't look down on my man.
You did that yourself just earlier. You insulted my woman.
There you go again. Always deflecting.
You're a professional pianist, you know? You won a prize in an international competition. You're a celebrity here in Japan, and known all throughout the world.
I don't care about that.
So, why would an exceptional person like you get so serious about an ordinary man like me? Not to mention, you haven't even seen me in 5 years. It wouldn't be strange if you forgot what I looked like.
You remembered what I looked like, right?
Obviously, you were always on TV. There was plenty of time for feelings to fade. As we went living our lives without each other, a wall grew between us that could no longer be crossed with just our feelings alone. The distance between us, our circumstances, and our futures. We were supposed to have our hearts broken, to fall victim to our own circumstance.
5 years ago, I didn't understand your reason either. I didn't know the reason why the very definition of a rule-abiding teacher's pet would persistently try to get close to an idiot like me. To an idiot who resisted everything and tried to distance herself from everything in the world.
Are you that idiot and teacher's pet met just because they sat right next to each other in the classroom of Class 3E?
I didn't understand the reason why you were so stupidly trying to get involved with me no matter how much I pretended to ignore you, snapped at you, or told you I hated you even though I didn't.
That teacher's pet did everything he could to win the favor of the idiot. No matter how many strange looks he got from his friends, and no matter how many times the teacher seriously warned him about what he was doing, he responded to them amiably, but he also didn't care.
I couldn't understand why someone who was doing so well for himself in society would ever feel so strongly about an idiot who was completely ostracized by society.
I was serious about her in the exact way the idiot had described me to be.
Hey, Haruki, back then, why did you fall in love with me when even I hated myself?
Oh, it's because I was interested in you. It's because I couldn't bring myself to leave you be. It's because I loved you.
If an abandoned dog opens up its heart once, it loses control of itself, you know?
And the idiot I loved so much back then is now holding me in her arms.
The owner might have plenty of other dogs to take care of, but to the abandoned dog like me, that person will forever be its one and only owner.
She's desperately pouring all her emotions into the words she throws at me.
It will never be able to forget him, you know?
That idiot, who is, in fact, a genius deep down, is showing the ordinary guy who's nothing more than a teacher's pet how serious she is. The proud wolf is reducing itself into the form of an abandoned dog just so it can rub its beautiful fur against the people living in the town. And in the face of her twisted, fragile, yet pure and beautiful feelings, the reason is simple. I had to admit to her the embarrassing truth I had always kept hidden. The truth that had no value as a secret. It's such an obvious and stupid reason that I thought you might have sobered up in an instant from a love that lasted 5 years. It's a completely blunt and unrefined reason. It'd even be apt to call it vulgar or stupid.
Bring it on. If you think you can sober me up, then try it.
Kazusa?
Then you won't have to feel guilty. You'll be able to go back to Setsuna just like you want to.
It was because of your appearance. I fell in love with you the moment I saw you. I finally said it. I look stupid, don't I? It wasn't fate or anything great like that. No matter how much the abandoned dog sugarcoats her memories, the owner can only see it as nothing more than something stupid he did on a whim. Still, what did you expect? I was still just a high school student back then. I didn't have any experience dating a girl or anything. That was my first time. It was a reason I always refused to acknowledge. It was a standard for falling in love far too similar to the way Takia evaluated women. You can get mad at me if you want. You can stop loving me if you want. You can even disdain me.
You don't have to say it. I feel so disillusioned.
I couldn't tell if the force in Kazusa's arms was out of anger or some other feeling.
I've always thought you were different from the other guys who thought about women all the time.
Given that she never relaxed her embrace even once, I couldn't possibly know.
To think that an honor student like you, a class representative, would care about me so much for a reason like that.
Why else would someone like me have joined a band?
You judged me for how I looked, and that is why you bothered talking to me and started turning to me for help.
I liked how you looked when you were angry, too.
Did you really see me as a girl that much?
You were the prettiest girl in class by far.
Were you the kind of boy with ulterior motives like that?
Even looking at the whole grade, the only girl who had a shot against you was Setsuna.
So, you just decided to get close to the two girls you thought as number 1 and number 2?
Because I thought I might have a chance with you. You didn't seem to dislike me that much.
You're such a calculating, vindictive man. To think.
I was desperate. I wanted to catch your attention. That's the reason I practiced playing the guitar so much.
But obviously that would just attract other girls, not just me, but Setsuna too.
After hearing my horrible confession, Kazusa's emotions swelled to the brink of bursting, even though she had just managed to calm down earlier.
You're such a horrible man. You're the worst thing a woman could ever face.
Yet, are you sober now?
I love you, you womanizer.
I love you too. In the end, I knew she would respond that way. I knew Kazusa wouldn't budge from something like this. She wouldn't hate me for just this. Because Toma Kazusa is a preposterous idiot who couldn't forget about me for 5 whole years. All she could do was...
Too bad, Haruki. The woman you caught is really bad at giving up.
Yeah, you're right. You're just like me 5 years ago. Breathe a sigh of relief. Feel sadness and happiness. I slowly shut my eyes, not wanting anyone to notice that they're wet.
Things didn't go as planned, did they?
Who knows? Kazusa did the same, but she seemed incapable of closing them all the way, because more tears fell on my cheeks. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment down below. That was a close one. Takia and the gang almost came over and discovered Kazusa. I wonder if Setsuna had a feeling of what was going on and didn't want incontrovertible evidence. And that's why she stopped them. What do you guys think? Also, I don't get why Haruki is putting himself through this. Granted, I've never fallen in love with 2 people at the same time before.